Mummy knows best or an old wives' tale? What did Grandma do back in the olden days? Those amazing women that gave us messages about how to stay healthy, how to eat, how to cook, how to clean our home, how to be a great human being, how to be a hard worker. Those messages seem to be coming back into fashion. They certainly went out of fashion. But now they're called biohacks, and you'll hear social media influencers all over the world talking about the things that you should do now to stay healthy, fit and strong. And I laugh every day because they're the things that my mother taught me. And I've done them all of my life. So when people say, Rowa, you've got a stack of energy, you're healthy, fit and strong, you love your life, you've got a clean home, you work really hard, you're disciplined and focused, thanks, Mum, because they're the things that my mother taught me. Now, I may not have appreciated those messages when I was a young child, but I certainly do now, because when I look back over my life, I've had a bloody good life. And could it have a lot to do with the things that my mother taught me? And my answer for today is yes. So the first one that seems to have come back into fashion, which certainly went way out of fashion, is getting into the sunshine. I ask myself every day, why is it that I love being outside so much? Fresh air and sunshine to me is so important. Well, for my mother, she used to wake up every morning, go outside and look directly at the sunshine every day. Then she would take our entire house outside, so sheets, blankets, rugs off the floor, towels, everything went outside into the sun. Now, I'm sure that when I was growing up, well, we certainly didn't have a dryer, but everything got dried on the washing line with fresh air and sunshine, because my mother would say that sunshine is the best antibiotic, it's the best disinfectant, it kills germs, it just makes everything smell good. So that's something I've always done, and we always have a joke at our house, because every time we see somebody else that hangs their washing outside, because it seems very unpopular now, or they hang their blankets over the balcony, or there's just clothes hanging outside, we always say, oh, there's Mutti, because my mum used to just hang everything outside. But our home always smelt good. Now, I've got 5 puppy dogs and they sleep inside. So I don't want a house that smells of doggies, because my dogs fart really bad. But I want the things in my home to smell good, look good, feel good, and I've always put everything outside. So that's a kind of a giggle. But my mother always also had a tan. She was never sunburned, but she always, because she was in the sun every day, she always had a tan. And of course, that's gone way out of fashion. But what is interesting or difficult for me to understand is that all energy comes from the sun. And if you lock yourself inside and you don't get fresh air and sunshine, how can your body work effectively? And it just doesn't. The other thing my mother never did, she loved to watch television, but she only ever watched television when everything was done. So she only ever sat down when her whole day was completed. She was a really hard worker. Now, she used to drink a copious amount of water. She just guzzled water. Maybe that's good for you. She ate all sorts of nuts and seeds and veggies, and she just had this big, what do they call it, a big collection, cornucopia of almost weird things that she used to eat, because she said that if it grows in the ground, it's got to be good for you, or better for you than something that comes in a packet. But also my mother loved chocolate, and so she had this great balance of life. So she ate all these lovely, healthy, fresh, real foods, and then she always enjoyed her chocolate or ice cream or a piece of cake. And the beautiful story that I always share, the day that my mother died peacefully in her sleep at 98, she had a beautiful meal, a piece of chocolate cake, went to sleep, and then now she's no longer here. And I'm sharing that because life is meant to be lived, isn't it, with passion and enthusiasm, and eat all the foods that you love. Now, the other thing my mother did every day, and did to me every single day from the day I was born, was cold water. Cold showers, cold baths, cold swimming. My mother would swim in the winter, in the ocean, in the dam, in the river. She didn't care. She just loved cold water, and she was always in the water. Maybe that's the reason she had such beautiful skin. My mother didn't have wrinkles, just lines on her face, because she died as an old lady. But magnificent skin. So she got fresh air and sunshine and cold water on her skin every single day. So from the day that I was born, literally, I've been having a cold shower to start with, a cold shower to finish with, sometimes only a cold shower in the summer. And now it's all come back into fashion, ice baths and cold showers and getting out into the cold. But that was just part of my normal life. So my entire life, I've been in ice water every single day. I've been in fresh air and sunshine every single day. My mother was an exerciser. Now, if you see my mum, she certainly wasn't thin. But what happened psychologically? She was a nurse in a hospital in Berlin. during the Second World War. So there was no food, there was no medications, there was literally nothing. But she was still a beautiful nurse who nursed people back to life in the best way that she possibly could, even though she had no resources, which made her very resourceful, of course. However, there was nothing that injury, sickness, sore throat, broken finger, big cut, everything that ever happened to us as kids, and me in particular, because I came along 11 years after my closest brother and sister, and so literally I was brought up as an only child, and people say only children are often spoiled. But my mother, she was real hard on me. Oh, you got a cut? Well, if it's bleeding, we'll bandage it up, but otherwise get fresh air and sunshine and cold water on it. You've hurt your foot, walk it off. You feel sick, get up and go to school, get out in the fresh air and sunshine, keep moving, because if you keep moving, you'll have circulation, nutrition and blood flow, so you'll feel better, you'll look better, you'll get better quicker. I wish that was a message that's still going out, and I've certainly lived that way my whole life, and I don't go to the doctor, and I have never been to hospital, and barring accident or bad luck, I hope that stays that way, because sick people go to hospital and sick people end up at the doctor's office, and the third biggest killer in the world is medical misdiagnosis. So I'm really not keen for any of that. So I'm really thankful to my mother. I've got a scar on my hand it's still there. I was on one of my dad's building sites, and I literally my hand was hanging off by the skin. I cut my hand off, and my mother said, no, we don't need stitches. She tightened it up really. She lined it up really carefully, taped me up really tightly, kept an eye on it, and then as soon as the bleeding stopped and the skin had started to heal, it was outside fresh air and sunshine. So why am I sharing that with you? Because have we been misguided? Have we been brainwashed? Have we been fed a whole heap of rubbish about what we should do with our body? And really, the human body is capable of looking after itself with fresh air, with sunshine, with exercise, with great food. So my mother was a real lover of great food. She was always moving, always walking. The only time she ever sat down was when the day was done, and she would say that to me regularly. You don't sit down until all the work's done. You don't sit down until your to-do list is ticked off. And I'm very happy that I've taken that on board, because that's how I live my life. So again, why would I share all of that with you? We live in a world where the human race has become fatter, sicker, weaker, more diseased and more depressed than it's ever been. It doesn't get outside very often, doesn't get sunshine and fresh air. Obviously, people are very unfit and weak because they don't exercise, they don't get puffed, they don't lift heavy. They're very unhappy because they don't have a focus. My mother always had a purpose. She was always doing something to add value to the world. She was always doing something to live the example for her kids. This is how you work hard. This is called discipline was a big word for my mother. And it's my favourite word. When I get buried, I'd love to be buried with that word. Here lies a disciplined woman. Because obviously when you discipline, it's the connection between having a goal and achieving the goal. Do what you should do when you should do it, even if you don't feel like it. Now, the other thing my mother was pedantic about, and maybe because she was German, was having a clean home. So yes, everything went outside to get fresh air and sunshine, but she was really careful about disinfectant. And when I talk about disinfectant, my mother used white vinegar as a cleaning product. And I always have a giggle now because white vinegar's come way back into fashion, and it's on all over YouTube and social media on how to use it as a cleaning product. Well, I've been using white vinegar all of my life because my mother taught me this is how you clean the windows, and this is how you clean the toilet, this is how you whiten the shower tiles, and you use white vinegar, do that in baking soda, things that don't cost very much money, because my mother was very resourceful. So yes, we always had a clean home, but not because we used expensive cleaning products. The washing was always soft because she used white vinegar in the washing. The other thing that's hilarious is how much money the universe now, the whole anti-aging beauty skincare, that's a huge industry, $1 trillion industry. And my mother, with her beautiful skin, and everybody used to say you look so young for your age, her skincare was cold water and Vaseline. My mother used to slather Vaseline all over her body. Now, as I was growing up, I thought that was ridiculous, because why would you put petroleum jelly on your face? And I got caught up in the brainwashing. I got caught up in the marketing of skincare products. So I've spent $200 on skin cream, and $150 on makeup base, and I wasted a lot of money on supposed awesome products that cost a lot of money. It is supposed to make you look young. Here's what I'm going to share with you. I've really appreciated going back to my mother's great advice. So I start my day off with fresh air and sunshine. I then put freezing cold water on my face, and then I slather my face with Vaseline. Now, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just sharing with you that my skin's never felt better. I feel fantastic. I feel young and fresh and happy every single day. Now, what's that got to do with? What about the fundamentals? What if we got rid of all the stuff, all the pills, powders and potions, and we just got fresh air, sunshine, deep sleep, because obviously when you work hard, you sleep deep. When you're really fit, you've got an endocrine system, hormones that work effectively, so you wake up feeling refreshed, you go to bed tired, you sleep really deeply, you eat when you're hungry, you stop eating when you're full, and you love your life. Because your body's working really well, and obviously if your body's working well, you're more likely to have a great purpose. So if you wrap all of that up into a simple process, what if we didn't have any pills, powders, potions, beauty creams, all the stuff that people use to look and feel good and get their house to look and feel good? What if we didn't have any of that and we had to work it out for ourselves? Would we be doing it a little bit different than the social media influencing that we're getting? So I'm not asking you to live like me, of course, but a lot of people accuse me of being very happy, satisfied with my life. I love where I live. I've had a career that I've loved all of my life. When you love what you do, you obviously become financially free because you become very valuable, because you keep learning and trading and educating and wanting to add value to the world. To me, they're the fundamentals of what I bang on about every day. Healthy, fit and strong. Have a career or business that you love so that you are financially free, so that you only have great people in your life to share all of that with. Why do we have crappy people in our lives? I don't know, and I wish we didn't, because they screw up our headspace, stress us out, pull us down, make us feel terrible. Why would you have people in your inner circle that aren't respectful and loving? I don't know. That's the question I ask every single day. But it all comes back to me, to being healthy, fit and strong. Fresh air, sunshine. Get puffed to get fit, lift heavy to get strong, do it safely so you don't get injured. Do it fast and get results quickly so you stay motivated and you don't feel like you're wasting any time. Eat when you're hungry, stop eating when you're full. Eat real food. Eat less food that humans are screwed with, but then don't get the balance out either. You've got to eat the yummy things that you really enjoy, because then you get angry or stressed because you can't have them, or you feel guilty because you do have them. Could that be a great idea? So all I'm sharing is that I wish the world was happier. I wish the world wasn't sick, fat, weak and diseased. I can't even say it properly. Sick, fat, weak and diseased. What a horrible way to live your life. And I don't want our kids growing up thinking that is normal. So if you want to live your life to the max, get off your backside, get outside, get some fresh air and sunshine, some cold water, put your body under challenge, so work really hard so that your body is forced to get better, fitter, stronger every single day. And perhaps then you could live your life to the max. Super duper doo, how are you? Mummy seems to know best. What do you reckon, Aston? Mummy knows best? Woohoo! What a magnificent day. Judo's sleeping over there.